Okay, shall we begin?
Ya, let me start ya.
Okay.
Selamat pagi teman-teman mahasiswa sekalian. Good morning everyone. Good morning, lecturer and Mr. Jing and team from Bukit Vista. Selamat datang di acara Virtual Internship and Career Fair. Ya. Ini this event is collaboration between Internship and Career Center Bureau with the study program from Business Administration. Agenda hari ini adalah the topic is digital marketing strategy in the world of hospitality. This is part of our goals to equip you with the what we call it industry 4.0 skill equip lah. Jadi supaya teman-teman akrab dengan istilah-istilah yang related dengan industri 4.0 sebab ke depan ini akan sangat banyak sekali pekerjaan-pekerjaan yang membutuhkan skill related dengan industri 4.0. Jadi pagi ini kita beruntung ya sudah hadir our colleague from Bukit Vista, Mr. Jing Yang, the CEO of Bukit Vista, and other speaker Pak Gunung Ghani. So we can start with your session, Pak, please.
Okay, fantastic.
Your presentation.
Perfect.
And also, if you can introduce yourself with your team and what is Bukit Vista?
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Pak. So, selamat pagi, President University. Saya nama Jing dan saya hari ini sangat senang bisa ada sempat ini bisa berbicara di depan President University dan mahasiswa yang mau belajar tentang digital marketing. So, I'm here today with my colleague Ghani, who's been working at Bukit Vista for many, many years. And I'm very proud to share this knowledge with everybody here. Okay, so the topic of today is going to be SEO. And this stands for Search Engine Optimization. So this is me. My name is Jing Yang. And this is Ghani, who will be speaking with me today as well. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. All right. Whoops. Okay, better clear away my annotations here. So clear my drawings. Why are we here today? Our objective is to inspire today. We want to inspire young talent to innovate using technical skills to solve real-world problems. And we also want to inspire present university students to work and intern at Bukit Vista. So that's why we're here today. But along with that, what we also want to do today is we want to do something else as well. We want to delight. Search engine optimization is often a very noisy topic. You might see advertisements all the time on the internet about SEO, about why you should buy this SEO tool or you can get free traffic. So SEO by itself is a very noisy topic. There's a lot of people who are trying to sell things to students. We're not trying to sell anything today. We're just giving knowledge. The only thing we would like you to do is to consider maybe working or interning at Bukit Vista. That's our purpose today. And we're going to keep to the facts. So we'll talk about SEO to the facts and we'll show you demonstrable real knowledge about search engine optimization and how it applies to digital marketing. We're going to explain some of our core principles about how SEO works so that you can use SEO for whatever you'd like it to do. You might use SEO to find a job so that you build maybe a website about yourself and have employers find you more easily on the internet. You could do SEO to sell goods for your family business if you want to do that. Or you could use SEO to support your company's business to do whatever they might want to do on the internet. So SEO has many, many places where you can apply. And you can build a very lush and rich and great career in SEO. The next thing about SEO that's really awesome is you can get a job anywhere in the world if you know this particular skill, because all companies throughout the world need people who optimize on search engines. Okay, so that's a little bit about SEO. We're going to have a live Q&A. And so Bella will share this link on the live Q&A, and this link will enable you as a student to ask any questions that you'd like. And these then are questions that we will address at the end of the discussion so that you can get your most passionate curiosities satisfied by our team here at Bukit Vista. Okay, and we want to meet with as many of you after the session is over. We want to hear your thoughts, your concerns. Bisa pakai bahasa Indonesia, bisa pakai bahasa Inggris, bisa pakai bahasa Jepang, bisa pakai bahasa apapun, right? You can use whatever language that we can understand, but the most important is that you express yourself and ask good questions because we like that kind of engagement. Okay, let's continue. So here is the agenda for today. We'll spend about 10 minutes introducing Bukit Vista, me, Ghani, the team here. Then I will go and speak about SEO in an executive overview. I'll give you guys a live demonstration of how we have used SEO at Bukit Vista to do search optimization on the platform of Airbnb. Ghani will follow me, and he will also explain more about SEO, and he will explain how Bukit Vista uses SEO on platforms like Google and to attract our partners, and he will also give a live demonstration of some of the cool tools that we use to improve our search algorithm and our search rankings. Okay, afterwards, I will ask everybody to give us a survey, just like you do when GoFood delivers food to you, right? Give us a survey and tell us how we did. Give us feedback so that we can do better at the next talk. And if you really didn't like this, tell us you really didn't like this. You would have preferred to bobo in the morning and miss this altogether, okay? All right, and at the very end, we will go and we will ask questions and answers, and we will try to answer your questions. The more difficult the questions, the better. We really want to see people who are really thinking a lot about digital marketing and search engine optimization. Okay, if you're ready, we're gonna begin. So my name is Jing. I'm the CEO of Bukit Vista. Ghani has been on my team for many years, and Ghani is a senior content creator and a digital marketing specialist. So we both are your hosts today, and we're gonna talk a lot about digital marketing and in particular, search engine optimization. Next, this is who I am. So I co-founded Bukit Vista about 12 years ago. And I studied a long time ago here in California at the University of California at Berkeley. I studied electrical engineering and computer science, and previously I worked at a few companies related to travel. I worked at Aman Resorts, which was started in Indonesia and has luxury properties all over the world. And I also worked at Airbnb, which is an internet startup company based here in San Francisco and has over, I think, 3 million properties all over the world too as well. My fun fact, once upon a time, I got to be in a Bollywood movie. Let's see if you can find me. So I got to dance with Hrithik Roshan and Aishwarya Rai in a Bollywood movie called Doom 2. If you can't see me, this is me right here. This guy in the red shorts. So that's my fun fact. Anyway, let's go into what Bukit Vista is. So what we do is our mission is to inspire delight, make people really, really happy. How? We do it through hospitality innovations that positively transform our guests, our partners, and our employees. So that is the purpose of what Bukit Vista does. What does Bukit Vista look like? Well, we are a property management company, and we help all kinds of very, very inspirational, delightful properties find guests. So we have properties up in Bali, in Ubud, that are perfect for families. We have other properties in Jimbaran that are great for group travel. We have very unique and exotic properties in Abiyasamal, which is in central Bali, and they are perfect for people who are looking for something very experiential. We also have beachfront properties and tree houses, and also some unique properties that are good for large groups looking to have company getaways as well. So this is what Bukit Vista looks like. But let's understand a little bit more. I'm going to need some people to chat with me a little bit and tell me why use SEO. What is something that you would like to use SEO for? And if nobody chats with me, then I'm going to have to ask the hosts of President University what they would like to do with SEO. Okay, let's take a look. Does anyone want to be the first to write in the chat box why they are here? What do you want to learn about SEO? Anyone? Okay, all right, everyone might be a little bit shy this morning. It might be a little bit too early. Okay, so Mr. David Siwi asks, why is SEO important? Okay, Mr. David, you have come to the right place. I will explain to you exactly why SEO is important, and that will follow very shortly, okay? SEO is basically important because it is a way in general of organizing how the internet works, and that is very, very important, right? Number two, Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian asks, SEO is the most basic skill that you should have in the digital era. And Mr. Brian, you are correct. SEO is essentially one of the basic skills that I think anybody who is hoping to engage and interact with others should have in the digital era. Thank you very much, Mr. David and Mr. Brian, for contributing those answers. Does anybody else have any other reasons why they would like to know and understand more about search engine optimization? How to optimize the SEO of your business. Fantastic. That is one of the primary reasons why we study and why we explore SEO. As Pat spoke about earlier, right? There's this idea of how SEO is tied to a lot of things in Industry 4.0, in the digital industry. You and I, you are not in the same room right now, right? We're all interacting through the means of digital communication. And SEO is one of the ways that we can improve our digital communication as well. Does anybody else besides Maria, Brian, and David want to ask why they want to study SEO? Right. So Whiskey says SEO is to increase traffic visits through the Google search engine. Whiskey, that is partially correct, but I'll also hopefully through this webinar be able to inspire you to find where SEO exists outside of the Google search engine. There are search engines everywhere in the world. And hopefully through this, you will understand all the different places you can find search engines. And it's not just in Google, okay? Fantastic. All right, does anybody else have any other reasons that they want to understand more about SEO besides Whiskey, Brian, Maria, and David? Anybody else? No? Yes? Okay, let's go ahead and continue then. So I'm going to go and talk about SEO. So let's first begin. What is the problem? Why does SEO even need to exist? What is the problem that search engine optimization is trying to solve? Well, if you think about the internet is a gigantic and it's a very, very messy world, right? There's all these different connections, there's all these different people, there's all this information that's happening on the internet, and it can be a very difficult way to actually find what you're looking for. So let's say you're on one side of the internet, right? Let's say you're this lady over on this side. You are the audience and you are looking for something, okay? And you don't know where to necessarily look on the internet. There's just so much information. It's a vast galaxy. And on top of that, the internet is a little bit like our galaxy. It's always getting bigger. It's always expanding too as well. So you have this enormous amount of information and you need a way to find what you're looking for. So that's the searcher's problem. Now, there's another person with another problem over on this side as well. So this side, you have a person who has information and they are looking for an audience as well. So how did they actually find their audience? Well, this is one of the purposes of search engine optimization. So what exactly is an example of this? So we need an information marketplace. We need a place where people with information needs and people with information supply can meet and transact, just like a real marketplace. So I'm going to take an example in the hospitality industry. I'm going to use the example of travel. So a person over here is our first client. They have a need. They need to travel. They want to find out what places they want to go. Okay, And over on the other side of the equation, you have another client. This client has a property or a place that they can offer to a traveler. So this is where they must connect and meet on an information marketplace. So what is an example of this information marketplace? So these are logos of very popular marketplaces that you have seen related to travel. Things like Booking.com, things like Traveloka, things like Airbnb. So these are places where people who are looking for information, people who have information, can meet to exchange information and make a transaction. So this helps us understand what places we want to go. Okay, so this essentially takes care of the first problem that we're looking to do. We need to meet at the information marketplace. But that's just the beginning of the next problem. The next problem is once you get into the information marketplace, well, guess what? Just like any marketplace, you need guidance within the marketplace. How will you find the product or service that you're actually looking to want? Imagine going to a library and the librarian just tells you, well, just go and look at every book until you find the book that you're looking for. That is not very helpful. That is not very useful. That is no good. That still keeps the same first problem. So remember, we are still dealing with a similar problem in the first phase. This information is vast. There's a lot of it, and it keeps on growing. It gets more and more big. So what we need is we need a database. We need a database to store all the records so that we can keep track of where this information is. But is storing the records the only thing we need? Of course not. The second thing that we need is we need a search algorithm. We need a way to be able to go through and understand what is actually happening through the search process, like illustrated in this video here. There are many, many different records, and all these records are filling this enormous database. So in our search algorithm, we will have to look for signals. We will look for ranking signals that tell us whether or not a particular piece of information is actually valuable to the user. So this algorithm is something that we study in search engine optimization. We need to understand what are the ranking signals, how does the algorithm work, what is the purpose of the algorithm, and thus we can then master our ability to transact in this space. So that is a little bit about why search engines exist. But what is the benefit of understanding this? The benefit of understanding how search engine optimization works is that once you have optimized the search process, many users will be able to find your information. Your information becomes more clear, it becomes more visible, and it becomes more popular through the process of search engine optimization. And hopefully that means you become a winner. Now, what does a winner look like in many cases? One of the cases is, let's say, for example, you want to sell, you want to sell bakso in Jakarta. So what if when people are looking for bakso Jakarta in Google, you appear as the #1 search result? Well, then you probably will get a lot of orders and your business will do very well. But it's not just Google, like I said. What does a winner look like on YouTube? Perhaps when people look for, let's say, travel, Bali, your vlog shows up as the #1 result. So then you become an influencer on YouTube. What does a winner look like on Instagram or Snapchat? Some of these platforms use search as a main feature. Some of these platforms do not use search as a main feature. But through the process of optimization, we're able to gain a larger share of the overall traffic and the number of people who are searching for our information. So it does go back to the very beginning again, which is that person who is an audience and looking for something can find you as a person who's looking for an audience much, much easier. And that is what success looks like. And that's how you become a winner using SEO. Now, instead of just talking about this, what I'd like to show is I'm going to give you a demonstration, a live demonstration of how Bukit Vista uses SEO, not through Google search, but through Airbnb search, right? Because let's remember, Airbnb and booking platforms and Traveloka, these are all platforms that actually are information marketplaces, and they have search engines in them, right? That's primary to know. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to step outside of my presentation for a moment. I'm going to go to my screen. Here on my screen, I've arrived to the Airbnb webpage where I will conduct a search. So in this search, I'm going to go and I would like to go to Uluwatu. Uluwatu is a region where Bukit Vista has many properties. I'm going to put in check-in dates of the 14th and I'm going to stay till the 16th. I'm then going to add 2 guests into this search. So this is a search process that I'm going through right now. And search engine optimization would mean that Bukit Vista would have results that are at the top of this search process. Let's go ahead, click search, and see what happens. So after we click search, we get a list of results. We get a list of results, and of course, the highest ranking result is the result on the top left. This is the best result, okay? Why? Because everybody will see this result. Now, if my result is all the way at the bottom of the page, not everybody will see that particular result. So anything at the top of a search result is a good result. Anything at the bottom is not a good result. But what about something that is a terrible result? A terrible result is on the very last page at the very last entry, right? That is a terrible result because that result will be seen by very, very few people. Back to the information marketplace issue, right? The person looking for information is less likely to find you if you are at the last page. Pretty fundamental stuff. But let's go ahead and take a look at how Bukit Vista does. Well, guess what? The top result is a Bukit Vista property, and so is the second one, and so is the third one, and so is the fifth one. So these are all Bukit Vista properties, as you can see. This is somebody who works at Bukit Vista, and these other ones, if I can go over, are also people who work at Bukit Vista. So we are doing fairly well on search engine optimization within the Airbnb platform. How do we do it? What is our trick? What is our technique? So every search engine has different ranking signals. They have different purposes. They have different means of awarding ranking to a winning piece of information. So why do you think that this particular property has done very well? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the facts, right? Are there any facts on this piece of content that we can look at and understand how ranking works? Well, the first fact is we have very, very strong reviews, right? This is out of 5 stars. This particular result has 4.97 stars. So this means that this is probably a high quality result. The other thing is we have 34 reviews. 34 reviews indicates that this particular result has legacy and consistency. That's another good indication that this is going to be a good result for somebody looking for accommodations. We see that the other sub-factors, such as the cleanliness, the communication, the check-in, the accuracy, the location, and the value are all pretty close to perfect scores. So that is really good. So we also see that we have very recent reviews. We have our last review is in August, which is pretty good for Bali, considering that today celebrate, Bali just opened again, right? So we had PPKM for many months, but now Bali will open again. We will be able to get fresh reviews again. So the recency of the review indicates that this property is still very fresh. It's been reviewed above and more recently than other properties. So let's take a look at the behavior of the profile, the host. The host has 392 reviews, so that indicates credibility, authenticity, and also a bit of brand. It means that this person can be trusted. But also there's other things as well. This host speaks 2 languages, responds to 100% of the questions that is asked of the host, and then the response time is as fast as possible within the hour. So these are examples of ranking signals. Ranking signals are essentially how the search algorithm decides what particular result to reward first. And this is an example of something that Bukit Vista has done that got us the first result on a platform like Airbnb. Now, if we take a look at some other results too, we can see similar type things. This one has a slightly lower type review. The review is only 4.46, but also we can go ahead and take a look at that, and we see that this host, who is also part of the Bukit Vista family, has 4 languages that they can speak, Chinese, English, Bahasa Indonesia, and also Japanese over here. And their response rate is also 100%, and their response time is within the hour. So we've been able then to determine what probably causes good ranking signals on a platform like Airbnb. So this is an example of SEO and the ranking signals that deliver SEO. I hope that's a good example. Hopefully when you go and explore different platforms now, like booking.com, like Traveloka, you can take this into account and start asking yourself whether you are the first client looking for information or you're the second client looking to look for an audience. These are particular signals that might matter to how visible and how easily you might find your result, depending upon who you are. Okay, so that's the end of my example here. This one is also another Bukit Vista property, I'm proud to say. Let's go back to the presentation where we can take a look at a little bit more stuff, okay? And what I hope that everybody here can think about today is that SEO, yes, most commonly when we see SEO, it is in the context of Google search because Google is the largest search engine in the world, right? But SEO is not just limited to the way that we can optimize on Google. There are other places where you might be surprised to find search engine optimization opportunities. You might find search engine optimization on Instagram. Do you remember? On Instagram, there is a section at the very top where you can search for things. You can search for things like travel to Jakarta, Jakarta foodie, Jakarta makanan, jalan-jalan Bali. You can search for this, and the results that come down on this are ranked in a search engine optimized way. So study that and understand how you can actually rank on Instagram also for search engine optimization. But it doesn't end on just social media either. There's other search engines such as Tokopedia, Shopee, Bukalapak. All these different platforms utilize a search engine to prioritize different results. And that is why I think search engine optimization is as, let's see, I think Brian Kohar talked about how this is a basic skill in the digital world because people will always be searching in order to find the thing that they want. And if you are a supplier or if you are selling something, you want them to find your product and your service first. So that is how SEO can really drive your business and drive the way that you get a very fair share of attention on the internet. All right, so hopefully that gives everybody here, this is my honest and most truthful understanding of SEO and the most core principles. And I'm telling you this without any noise and marketing sort of side moves, okay? So this is the executive perspective on how SEO works. Now, to share his own more detailed experience, I'd like to invite Ghani to the floor to tell us a little bit about who he is and what he does at Bukit Vista around the area of search engine optimization.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Jing. Very clear explanation about the SEO from the executive point of view. And good morning, everyone. So today I will continue explain a little bit more specific about SEO. And first, let me introduce myself. My name is Ghani. I'm currently working as a content creator and digital marketer at Bukit Vista.
It's over there.
And I studied at University of Gajah Madah, Bachelor of Tourism in 2014. And I've been worked as event organizer and freelance photographer. My fun fact is I travel spontaneously. So one day I went to Nusa Penida and signed up for a snorkeling trip. But it turned out that is my first time to see mantafish in the sea directly. So I didn't expect to snorkeling in the free ocean. So it is my precious experience to snorkeling at Nusa Penida. Yeah, that's my little fun fact there. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is how is SEO working and what is Bukit Vista doing in SEO and SEO benefit in social media. Okay, first thing first, I believe this why we use SEO. I believe Mr. Jing already explained before comprehensively in the beginning. But here my additional why we need to improve our SEO. Because first, it is free. We no need to spend a lot of money, but we just need to dedication to do it. So do it consistently to improve your skill, to write some articles, optimize your social media. So it is totally from your dedication. And the second is this is the highest ROI in all marketing channel, usually after 6 months. This is from best of my experience. So considering that other marketing channels such as Google ads, such as Facebook ads, there are a lot of factors, there are a lot of elements that we cannot really predict, or we will got the ROI or not. But in SEO, when you're doing consistently in the long time, then you will get the result is same as that you spent in the beginning. So it is the highest ROI in all marketing channel. And the last thing is this is a long-term benefit. It's very different compared to, for example, like Facebook ads. You can pay many berapa ratus ribu rupiah in Facebook ads, and then you get the ads working, and then your website traffic is very big, but it's only stay in a sort of time, maybe in 1 week or 1 month, depend on your ads. But in SEO, when you are doing consistently, for example, in 6 months, and then the traffic is gradually increased. I will explain about how SEO works in. Sir, please click the slide. Okay, so how SEO works is this is specifically on the website, yeah. So first we are doing a publication on the web pages, and then your article or publication will be appear on internet, and search engine will crawl over your page. And after that, search engines use algorithm to determine rank. Okay, and after that, search engine will index your page, and finally, search engine display your web page. So it is several process. That's why we need to consistently in SEO, because it's take a long time, but it's also have a long-term benefit as well. Okay, please continue. All right, so we're gonna we'll take a look at the fundamental concept of SEO. In the left side, I'm going to talk about the keyword research, on-page optimization, and off-page optimization. But first thing first, on the keyword research first. So in the research, when you're doing a research, you have to know what service or what product do you offer to your target customer. If you're still not sure what kind of research, ask them, so you will get the best answer. And once you already know what's your offer, and then what type of keyword do you use? Are you using an informational keywords that users seek the information without brand? For example, what is startup, and then template of CV and something like that. So people just information seeking the information without a brand. And then another type of keyword is also transactional. So user in decision making on going to purchase. So for example, tiket pesawat murah, and then sewa villa Bali. So they are in the middle of user in the middle of decision making. So this is include on the transactional type of keyword. And the last thing is navigational. So which is user know what they want and what to go to website. And to understand the type of keyword itself, we also use the tools. The very common tools that we use is Ahrefs and SEMrush. So there are several tools that we can use, but the most common thing is Ahrefs. Yeah, but on the inside of the website itself, the most common is WordPress. In the WordPress, it also have additional tools or plugin tools. It's called Yoast. Yoast tool. So inside of WordPress, you can use the Yoast tool to measure the efficiency of your keyword that you use. Okay, right now we're going to jump into the right side of the picture. So as on the SEO, it's differentiated into two, so on page and off page. So the on page itself, it is very let's call it very technical. So we will going to optimize on the site performance, and then title text for links and canonical URLs, internal link anchor text. So this type of things is technical that inside on the web page itself. So the first thing, the most important thing is, and those kind of aspect on the on page supposed to be in align with keyword itself. Another things that to support SEO from outside is the off page. So the off page itself, so opposite from the on page. So off page SEO, which means that it is get supported from outside. So link share, and then from those from the outside of platform of website, it give you traffic to your website. So for example, like your website link is shared to Instagram, shared to Facebook, or shared to Pinterest. So those kind of platform will support you to give the traffic to your website. Yeah. So I think that's the fundamental concept of SEO. They are on page and off page. Okay. Yes. Please continue. Okay, so we are going to in the keyword research, we have to understand about long tail versus short tail as well. So in this determine the keyword itself, what keyword that we use, is it a long tail or short tail? Each type of this keyword is has different pro and cons. For example, in the short tail keywords, for example, it's a pet. Use only one word phrase. It is will get a high cost and high competition because it is a very broad. So if you type of pet in the Google, there is tons of articles, tons of information that related to pet, but it's very general, right? And then moving down to more specific keywords. Okay, so we more focus on pet store. This kind of keyword is at the middle of between long tail and short tail. This is a medium tail. So this is, yeah, still on the high competition, but it's not too specific as well. So it is still low probability on the conversion. And the last thing is the long tail keyword. So it is more descriptive phrase. And for example, like best pet store in Bandung. On this kind of keywords, this is low competition, but will have a high probability of conversion because this is your change or your business to appear in the top of the search engine. Yeah, you can, as you can see on the right table itself. So long tail keywords is very specific information. On the short tail keyword is generic information. And usually on the long tail keyword, this is locate content that help it achieve a specific goal. So usually user when typing the keyword on the search engine already have a goal, already have a purpose. So what are they looking for? Are they looking for a tiket murah ke Bali or best pet store in Bandung? So they already purpose and goal. Okay, I think yeah, just that for the explanation about long tail versus short tail. Okay, please continue. Okay, so this is a SEO effort in Bukit Vista. So this chart is called whimsical. So every SEO effort, we start with the keyword discovery first. And after we discover what kind of keyword that will be useful, we gotta separate on this. This is the optimized on the on-page SEO, or it will be on the paid campaign, or it will be off-page SEO. For the off-page itself, we can optimize it on YouTube SEO to increase the traffic, or it will be create the article and then will be posted on Facebook, and then those article on the Facebook will create some sort of backlinks, and then will support the traffic to website manage my property. It also those kind of article will be posted on GMB or Google My Business. So at the end, what we want to achieve is going to traffic to our website. So these are the schema or theme of the SEO import in Bukit Vista. Yeah, specifically for the partnership partner. Yeah, I think just that. Please continue. All right, so we are right now. I will show you guys about the tools that we use in Bukit Vista. I will show you the demonstration. There are two tools that we will use. First is Google Analytics to check the traffic, which source that we want to track, and then what time of period those kind of traffic coming from. And then the second is a Hotjar. Hotjar is tools that we use for understanding user behavior. The click heat maps, or which kind of part on the website that have a most click, or cursor navigation, which part that user skip the on the website tampilan di website. All right, so right now I will share my screen. Is it already shared? Mr. Jing, can you see my screen?
I actually can't see your screen, Ghani. So I don't see anything yet.
Stop share. Okay, let me try once again. Okay. Desktop second. Okay, share. Your second. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, I'm opening Hotjar. Wait, I will opening the Google Analytics right now. Bapak Dedi Kurniawan, is it correct?
Yes, that's now in Google Analytics.
Yes. Okay, everyone. So I will show you how to track the traffic that coming to a website use Google Analytics. Okay. So first thing first, you have to set your time. In this case, I will input the date is May 1st until 31 May. So this is the whole month on May, and then I will compare to previous month, which is on April. Okay, in this Google Analytics that it show those kind of traffic. Okay, at the moment we run several campaigns on the Google Ads, and then optimize our Facebook page. So here's, as you can see, on the website manage my property, we can see the type of source. Is it coming from Facebook? It's coming from organic. It's coming from Google Ads, and then it's coming from Pepper, Dropbox, coming from Facebook, and coming from Instagram. So there are several traffic that coming from other platform that going into the website. To understand the organic traffic, of course, we're going to hear the organic traffic. So as you can see, here's the comparison on the May versus on the April. Okay, so on May, we got a 1,140 page view. It is compared to previous month on April, we only got 900. So there are 16.5% improvement. So this is how we track the traffic from the website itself. So there here on the Facebook. So if I'm not mistaken, on this time we launched Facebook ads and Google ads in the same time. So we gain a lot of traffic there. So as you can see, the improvement is almost double at the time. So that's why the traffic on May is very high, especially for Facebook, yeah, compared on April. So yeah, I think just that the explanation of the Google Analytics. So basically, this tool is to track and to understand which traffic is coming from, the source of traffic that's coming from. We use the Google Analytics.
Ghani,
Okay.
can I
Yes,
ask you a
sir.
question? Let's take a look at the bounce rate. Yeah, how does the
Okay.
bounce rate affect search engine optimization for and how can we use Google Analytics to understand something more about the bounce rate?
Okay, that's good question, sir. So basically, the bounce rate is when people coming to your website, but it's not completely observe your page. It's just coming to the page and then just 1 second or 2 seconds, and then go out, and then close the tabs or close the page. So this is called bounce rate. And how the SEO or how the our campaign to measure this bounce rate. So basically, the lower bounce rate is great. So I mean that's the more people coming to website and then they stay quite a long in your page. It's a great audience. So that's the high quality audience, which means that's you target the correct audience. So the opposite is if you got the high bounce rate, which means that you most probably target the wrong audience, because you target people to come into your website and then they just feel like, this is not that I want to see, and then they just close the website and then go out. So yeah, that's probably that's called a wrong target audience.
Interesting, Ghani.
Yeah.
And is it possible that over time, if you reduce the bounce rate, would you get a higher ranking on search engine optimization for Google?
I think so, sir. So the bounce rate also indicate the performance of your website itself. The more efficient, the more less time reload, page reload, it will be get your page rank higher on the Google itself. So
Nice.
compared to the website that it's very take a long time to load, and then the content is not attractive, and then people that come into your website is just come and go directly, or is will be a bad ranking in the Google itself.
Thank you, Ghani.
Very, very low performance. Okay, that's for the Google Analytics. So I will continue to the next tools, which is the Hotjar. Okay, this is pretty interesting because it's more advanced tools in digital marketing. Why? Because Hotjar will record the user experience, will record user activity when coming into your website. In this tool, in the Hotjar, it is differentiated into two analytics. The first is heat maps and second is recording. Okay, so basically, Hotjar it's commonly used for UI UX team because they want to know what is the user behavior when they come into our website. Okay, for example, like this on the heat map, the Hotjar. So we know that which part of a website that have most click. Okay, when people coming to bukitvista.com manage my property. Okay, this is our last 13 days and this through desktop. Okay, so we know which part of button that have most clicked. Okay, for example, like this. Oh, this home is have 7 clicks, and then about us is 9 clicks, and then I have a property in 3 clicks. So we know that okay, when people are going to website on the manage my property page, the first thing they probably will click into the about us. So as you can see, there is 9 clicks on the about us button, and then scroll down a little bit. Okay, on this page section, there are about 3 clicks that clicked on the full transparency part. So this is also indicate that our audience that coming into manage my property, it's have a concern about the transparency of our service. They're interested about transparency issue, so they're trying to click it. And moving on, this is about the one of our BV value add, the business value add. They are zero management fee. And they're trying to click the video. Okay, as you can see, this is the show that there are 2 clicks there. And then moving on in the button. Oh, unfortunately, the Hotjar right now doesn't show the full screen, but yeah, this is the short explanation about the Hotjar itself. This about the heat maps, right? And then we moving on to the recording. And now, okay, so this one recording. So this is very specific to understand user behavior. So basically, Hotjar will collect the qualitative data of user to understand user behavior. Here, I will show you the recording of one of our user, what they do in our page. Okay, as you can see, this is I'm not control the screen, so this is purely from the audience. So they are scrolling down and then looking at the testimonial side. They read it and then they're scrolling down again, and then take a look on the So in this recording session, we know that which part or which element of the page that the most common read, paling banyak dibaca or paling lama untuk dibaca di page itself. Okay, so this this is a recording of the one of the our user. Okay, after we collect the data, and then we will deliver this data to the UI UX team. So they will considering the data. Oh, okay, which part in the page that not interesting, which part of page that complicated to read, or which part of the page that warnanya kurang mencolok. So the UI UX team can take an action to fix the page itself. So I know that it's a bit outside of SEO, but overall, this is tools that Bukit Vista use to track the traffic and then to understand the user behavior itself. Do we target the correct audience by using SEO or not? Yeah, so that's why I thought in the beginning it's a bit advanced tools for the digital marketer. Okay, I will stop share and I will give back the floor to Mr. Jing.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ghani, for taking the time and also going through the details there, showing us how the SEO tools can be used to analyze what our overall performance is and also to track insights that could be used for on-page and also off-page SEO. So I think this is all part of a collective strategy to win the voice of the internet. Great. Thank you very much, Ghani. Now, let's go to a past project. Now, today, Ghani, I think we have invited an intern from one of our past classes, or no, from a current class, actually. From a current batch of interns, we have Jesslyn, who will present a project, and we'll show some testimonial video afterwards, right? So is Jesslyn here now?
Sorry, sir. I think Jesselyn cannot join.
Oh, okay. All right. If Jesselyn isn't
yeah.
here, then Ghani will take credit for Jesselyn's work then. All right, go ahead, Ghani.
Yeah. Sorry. One of our intern that currently working on the Instagram. She cannot attend. Her name is Jesselyn. Okay. So here's one of the example of the SEO benefit in social media. Like previously Mr. Jing said before, SEO is not only used for our website. It also can be applied to other platforms, on the OTA, the marketplace, and even on social media. So here's the powerful of SEO. Okay, first thing first, as you can see on the right side, on the before, so the Bukit Vista on the bottom, on the before part. Okay, so here's our Bukit Vista bio and name. And that time, I create the name and the bio as well. But at that time, I still doesn't have a concern on SEO yet. So we are totally use our tagline in the bio. And then Jesselyn coming and then do the observation of our Instagram and see discover something powerful, which is the SEO. So they try to typing Bali Villa as a part of our service. We provide accommodation to guests. So when we type Bali Villa, at first our Instagram account doesn't appear, but after we change the name like Bukit Vista Villa Bali Jogja, and then we change the description, kami menyediakan properti untuk liburan terbaik di Bali, Jogja, and Nusa Penida. From this kind of keyword that we use Villa Bali, and we input the location as well in Bali, Jogja, and Nusa Penida. It give a very satisfying result, which is, as you can see on the left side, and the before and after. So we changed this bio at September 23. So as you can see, 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after, focus on account reach. So at the time, 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after, we use kind of same content planning, same strategy, same content activity. The caption, the design, we pretty much same on this 2 time of period, but we only change the bio itself. But it's turned off, as you guys can see, the account rates, it's increased almost 400%. So we able to reach more audience, more account by only changing the keyword on the bio and on the name of account. So from this case, we have to to takeaways itself. The first about the SEO, as Mr. Jing said before, the SEO is not applicable on Google or on website itself, but also it can be applied on the social media. And the second thing, this is the most interesting part. We in Bukit Vista, we doesn't stop innovation from others. No, if you junior or senior, if you newcomers or if you already be in Bukit Vista very long time, you are free to give the idea. We give the freedom to everyone to show their idea. If this kind of idea is makes sense and it pretty strategic, we can do the execution right away. This, for example, Jesselyn, I remember she is just 2 weeks apply intern in Bukit Vista, and then she just right away changed our bio. So credit to Jesselyn. So we are not stopping her to do innovation. We are not wait to have a meeting to have approval from higher level. So we are not hold the innovation happen. So this is just a good example of our intern project. So she present on the trial week, and then on the when she is officially onboarded, she just do the execute the project, and then as you can see, the result is very satisfying. Yeah, back to Mr. again.
Okay, thank you very much, Ghani, for the explanation. And also, Jesselyn, if you're watching this video, congratulations to you. You're now publicly known across Indonesia for your work here at Bukit Vista. All right, this part is where, as I promised before, we need to stop and get the survey. So my associate here, Bella, will share the link on the comment section. And we'll wait until at least 35 people in this room have filled out the survey before we continue, right? So it's a little bit like Squid Game, right? Don't get eliminated. Fill out the survey, complete the survey, and give us the feedback, right? Tell us, what did you learn here? Was this worth an hour of your life? What should we have done better? Do you want to see Bukit Vista again? Do you want to downvote us and get us to never bother you again? Just give us your most transparent and honest feedback, right? By filling out this survey here. So Bella will share on it, and please click on it, and we'll wait for at least 30 people to respond. And I'll keep count of it right now, right? So please fill that in. This is very important to get everyone's feedback. Okay. All right. Let's see. In the meantime, I'll just speak to Ghani while everybody else is filling that out. Yeah, Ghani, how did that feel? This is your first time speaking in public. Yeah.
Yes, sir. In this in this session, thank you very much to President University and Bila as well to arrange this meeting to give me opportunity to first time public speaking. So I know maybe my information is a little bit too fast or too boring because it's my first time to practice in publicly. But it's also in this session is give me a reflection how deep my understanding about SEO, how deep my understanding about the strategic thinking of SEO itself. So thank you very much, Mr. Jing, Bila, and President University to give me a chance to public speaking.
Hey, absolutely, Ghani. And I think, Ghani, this actually reminds me of one of our methods here at Bukit Vista, which is the Feynman Method, right? Do you remember the Feynman Method?
Oh yeah, the Feynman Method is basically when you will give the information or you will teaching to someone, expect that they are 5 years old. So no matter how expert you are, no matter how many experience you have been, you have to be able to explain it to 5 years old person. Menjelaskan ke anak kecil gitu gimana caranya supaya simple dan mudah dimengerti. And yeah, this session I will try explain the SEO. You know, SEO is kind of complex, right? It's ini rumit, banyak technical isunya, banyak banyak hal macam-macamnya. Tapi gimana caranya aku belajar untuk bisa menyampaikan ke teman-teman semua, so you well understand about it. Yeah, hopefully it's well understand.
Very good. And did you feel like you understood SEO better by also teaching the method yourself?
Yes, of course. Because before I create the presentation, I studied again to make sure to double check. Oh, is this method is really correct or not? Is this strategic plan is already correct or not? So I double check with literature, with article, with expert itself. So
very good.
I always update the knowledge from time to time.
Excellent. And I think that's one way, a method that we use here in the company to actually improve and positively transform people, right? We try to give everybody here, Bella's an intern, Ghani was an intern at one point, and we gave Jocelyn an opportunity today to kind of talk about their knowledge in public, because what it does is it really does help you understand that knowledge and positively transform yourself. Yeah. So far, thank you very much, Ghani. So far, I've gotten only, let's see, I think less than 10 responses. So if you haven't filled out the survey, please fill out the survey and give us feedback about how we're doing. I'm going to slow down a little bit, but I'll go to the next slide. Please, if you haven't filled out the survey yet, start the survey and give us your feedback as soon as possible. That would be really, really well appreciated by the whole team here at Bukit Vista. And I'm sure also at President University, we can share this result of the audience with the university as well. And if you're wondering, Bali is open, so please travel to Bali to help improve the economy. The situation in Bali has been very difficult over the past year and a half. So hopefully we can get some new people coming and get the economy back up again. Okay, let's go ahead and continue now. So the next thing I want to present is our internship and full-time opportunities here at Bukit Vista. So this is a very fun team. We do very interesting work. And this is one of our, this is actually one of our farewell videos that we had quite a while back. So join Bukit Vista to innovate in hospitality, and let's inspire delight together. So what does that exactly look like? I'm going to play a video while you fill out your surveys. And this is from a few people who have actually worked at Bukit Vista, and they'll tell you what the experience has been like.
Hi, my name is Aika. I was a digital marketing intern in Bukit Vista. So my internship has given me the opportunity to learn more about marketing fields than I'm able to learn in the classrooms. And actually, when I started, I had no backgrounds or like the direct experience related to digital marketing. But in the meantime, I was there and learned a lot about search engine optimizations and then social media optimizations, content writing, and the good things. I had the opportunity to apply it to real situations. So yes, it was a worldwide experience since each day I learned something both from my success as well as my failure.
Hello, so I'm Jenna. I was previously a HR intern here for 3 months in BB, and I would like to say that I really enjoyed my time here in BB because I learned a lot, and it has a very nice culture. It's a very nurturing environment, and I would definitely encourage you guys to give it a shot. Don't let other things hinder you from joining, because actually the amount of things you learn here is a lot, and the work given to you is like real work. So you will definitely be getting a lot of valuable real work experience. And some of the things that I managed to gain from this internship is things such as leadership skills, negotiation, analytical skills, communication, and teamwork. which I think are all really important things for you to take note of in your future work careers. So, yeah, join Bukit Vista.
Good day, everyone. My name is Maria, and I was working as the HR team. Here in the HR team, I usually help our guests to get their best accommodation and have their delightful moments during their stay. In Bukit Vista, I also learned a lot about how communication is important in the hospitality industry. I learned about leadership, problem solving, analytical thinking, and a lot of things to learn here. Not only that you will get those many skills, but you will also experience this super supportive working culture. I met many great people in Bukit Vista. They are always willing to share their knowledge, their insight, feedback, thoughts, and everything they could share, and I felt that I'm being supported by their kindness and willingness to share. The team always helped me when I don't even know a thing. Here in Bukit Vista, I failed many times. I made mistakes and no one blamed me for that. The team kept encouraging me to move forward and do better. They say it's okay to fail fasting, and I'm very thankful and proud that I can be a part of Bukit Vista. I think that's all I can share. I hope this short testimony could inspire more delight to you guys. And I don't want to spoil you that much, so if you are interested to learn more about Bukit Vista, just go send your application and register yourself. Our team would be very happy and glad to welcome you as our new family. I'll see you in BV.
Okay, thank you very much. So that was some of our past interns that have come through. So here's a few of the roles that we're hoping to fill. So we offer both full-time and internship opportunities for interested parties, especially around digital marketing. So if you would like to work with me or Ghani in the near future, we are looking for people in business development who are good at skilled negotiations and persuasive and have lots of energy. We're also looking for a digital marketing specialist, somebody to practice SEO and think of new and innovative ways to increase our traffic and bring the right type of users to Bukit Vista. Also, we're looking for a field marketing manager. This is not so much digital, but also very, very rewarding. Get to work out in the field, discover beautiful new properties, and talk to people every day. It is a bit of an outdoors job, so if you want to get out of the office, get fresh air, not be trapped inside, this is a good option for you. Okay, in addition, if you like what you've heard today at this industry talk, we do have an Instagram profile where we host BV eTalk, which is our industry eTalk that we invite speakers, not just from Bukit Vista, but from Google, Facebook, from Airbnb, WeWork, Booking.com, all these big companies, Tokopedia, Gojek, and we investigate their approaches to practical problems. And we learn always so much from them, and it's very inspirational. So check out our BV eTalk Instagram page. In addition, Bella is hosting an industry visit. So if you want to feel what it's like to actually work at Bukit Vista, most of our company is now working remote. And so this is actually a very typical way that we conduct our business. So an industry visit is organized by Bella. She will respond to you in your survey if you fill out your survey. So we'll be sending out invitations to people who fill out the surveys for an industry visit. So what does it mean? You get to experience what it's like to work at Bukit Vista for a day, attend our meetings, go to our discussion groups, look at our tools and plans and such. You will have a virtual tour and understand the company's activities and culture. You'll also learn how remote work actually works. And this is very helpful if you want to work in companies that do remote work, which many very, very good companies actually do these days. We'll show you how we actually can conduct business without having to meet face-to-face, and then we'll show you how to do our professional work in a very fun way. So that's a little bit pitch. And now we've reached the end of the session, right? And this is where we have a huddle, and I would like to thank everybody for participating today. And we can go next into the section with the questions and answers. So I see some people have actually asked some questions already, so this will get our huddle started. And I think we have about 30 minutes, right, to discuss questions and such. Bella, do you want to lead this section?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll turn the floor over to Bella.
Okay then. So if we see that there are already a few questions here, I think we can start from the top one. Like this is the question, most of it doesn't have an answer. So maybe and we cannot converse with people anyway here. So I think yeah, we're going to talk to each other right now. So the first question, what are the common mistakes that people usually make in SEO? So maybe first I'd like to ask Kak Gani maybe. Can you answer this first question?
Okay, Bella. So I think this good question, yeah, for first timer to try learn about SEO. So what the common mistakes that people usually make in SEO? I think that two mistakes. The first is too many keywords that you apply on your article on which kind of content. So when you put too many keywords, when you create an article, you put too many keywords, and then it's make a spam, unfortunately. So Google have several several algorithms, several systems that they will call your page and then determine if this article is just spam or it's truly a good article. So make sure you put efficient number of efficient keyword, and also measure it on the tools. So just googling SEO tools, there are several type of tools you can try one by one, and they will give you the the suggestion which type of keyword that have a big volume and less competitor. So make sure you always use the tool. So I think the two mistakes. So first is too many keyword, and second not using tools. So make sure you always use tools. Okay, I think that's that. Back to Bella.
It's very interesting because actually I see that a lot of people commonly use like a lot of hashtag or like spamming keyword on their posts and articles so that people can reach out to their article. But it's actually can be like counterproductive to the idea of SEO itself. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so about the tool itself, do you like have any recommendation of the tool that you think would be very important for the beginner to understand SEO better?
For the tools that easy to understand, yeah, it is called SEMrush, SEMrush. So this is very popular tools. It's also have user friendly page, so I think it's easy to understand. Yeah, recommendation tools from yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the recommendation. Maybe everyone here can also write on that so that they can use that tool to better understand SEO in the future. So maybe Mr. Jing, over to you. Do you have anything to say about this common mistake maybe?
Oh, yes. I have a lot to say about this. I'll share an example of, I think, one of the common mistakes in SEO. So I think the most common mistake you can make in SEO is not finding good information about SEO. Because if you go on the websites, let's say you start looking for, you go on YouTube and you start looking for ways to actually find something useful. Some of these are good, but a lot of these are not actually, they're trying to sell you something, right? They're trying to actually make you purchase a product or something. So the intent might not always be very, very clean. I found this to actually be very interesting. Matt Cutts is actually the guy at Google who invented and actually works on the SEO algorithm, right? He's the authority. He's the person who actually understands it. But the funny thing I find is that he only has 33,000 views, right? Which is tiny compared.
Hi, my name is Matt Cutts.
Oh, sorry. Which is very small compared to other people who are influencers, right? Talking about this subject. So I think the first thing you need to do is you need to go to people who have authority and are not trying to do marketing around SEO. That is super important because SEO can be very, very noisy and digital marketing can be very noisy. Sometimes you go into these fields thinking that you're going to learn something, but what you end up being is you end up being a consumer, or you end up being a product that somebody is trying to sell something to. So I think the first thing is to go to authorities and find good mentors and people who really know what they're talking about. That way you can get the correct understanding of what it is that's important. That's one, I think, big thing about SEO. The other common mistake I see in SEO is expectations. So SEO, like Ghani said in the very beginning, is a very long-term game. It does not produce results right away. And it's also not one of the things that is necessarily cause and effect. It is a little bit like being a farmer in a way. So you plant seeds, and not all your blogs are going to get ranked. Not all the things that you do are going to show efforts. This is why I think it's so important to actually have the third mistake, which is documentation. If you do not document and track what you're doing, then you're guessing, all right? Let's say, for example, you do 6 different things that you believe will improve your search engine ranking, but you don't document what these 6 things are. Your website gets better ranking next month. Well, do you really know why? Do you know really what is one of them doing really well? Is the other one doing not so well? Which one of the 6 things actually worked? So you're going to have to experiment with this because Google doesn't tell you. They tell you what the purpose of the search engine is. They tell you what it's meant to do, but they will not tell you how to hack it. They will not tell you what you need to do in order to tweak and get better rankings. That part, everyone is trying to guess. Nobody really knows how to actually get direct results. So the only way that you can actually go about this in an effective way is to take a scientific approach. Document what you do, track which particular effort is producing the best results, and that is how you can amplify and focus on your SEO to get faster. The fastest SEO I've ever seen takes at least 2 weeks or a month. Usually for more competitive keywords, it might take a year. So the thing about this is to realize that this is a long-term game. This is a little bit like earning interest in a savings account. It is not like a fast thing. So I think when you understand that, then that part is better. So the expectations, the scientific approach, and finding good authority figures that know what they're doing. So those I think are the 3 common mistakes that people make when they attempt SEO.
Okay, that is such a great insight actually. Like for a beginner, for myself, like I'm not actually familiar with this idea of SEO, and after hearing from both of you, I think I might make a mistake if I don't know about all those things. Okay, then. So on to the second question. It's from Anonymous again. So what is the page value mentioned in Google Analytics? Is that the ranking of your website? I believe it was something that was explained by Kak Ghani, right, on his presentation. Maybe Kak Ghani can help answer us with this.
Okay, so I need share my screen, or Mr. Jing, would you mind to share your screen?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd be happy to share my screen. Give me a second here, and I will go up to Google Analytics, and I'll take control of the screen again. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. All right, sharing screen again.
Okay, so the question is, what page value that mentioned in Google Analytics? Is it your page rank or not? Okay, so the answer is, it is not show the ranking. No, this is the tools from Google that we use to track and report the traffic itself. So, for example, we in Bukit Vista we have a lot of pages, Bukit Vista / job, Bukit Vista / booking, Bukit Vista / what. So, these different pages have different traffic as well. So, for example, Bukit Vista / job at the very top of bottom. Okay, in this type of tampilan di sini, this show this is show the number of page view. Okay, how many users that coming into the website in the sort of the period of the time. So as you can see, if we use the perbandingan waktu from the time to time, so we know, oh, on the tab, okay, for example, 14 September sampai 13 Oktober, kita mendapatkan 8.918 user ke page/job, and then we compare to the same period of time dari Agustus 15 sampai September 13. Oh, ternyata lebih banyak. So from these tools, from Google Analytics tools, we know that there is something wrong in our page, that we can lose or we can trafficnya berkurang sebanyak 56%, and this is not good. So this kind of tools is give a report to us. So how is the next strategy? What we going to take a decision on the SEO? So yeah, I think just that from the Google Analytics tools. And also others, the other side of the page view, there are unique page view, there are average time on page, seberapa lama user itu masuk ke dalam sebuah halaman di website. So semakin lama itu semakin bagus. Semakin lama orang-orang itu masuk ke dalam sebuah website, berarti user atau audiensnya itu kan benar-benar yang sudah terpilih. They have already have a concern, they already have a curiosity to read more. So the long average time on page is the better audience. And there are a lot of things in Google Analytics, but this is the most used dashboard that we can show the traffic. Yeah. Perhaps Mr. Zing, do you want to add something?
Sure. So in particular, there is this last column here, which is the page value. And I believe the person asking this question meant, does this have an effect on ranking of the website? Page value is something that is determined by whoever you're looking at essentially this, sir. You want to assign a certain value to each type of transaction that is happening on your page. Let's say if you get a certain number of people clicking on a button, how valuable is that to you? Why would you want to know that? Because certain advertisement campaigns and advertisement platforms, they charge by clicks, right? So let's say, for example, you know that every time if somebody clicks on a buy button on your website, you generally will get $5 from that. So then you know that essentially that click is worth $5. Then if somebody then on an ad, if an ad is trying to sell a click for $15 on that, you would know I shouldn't buy it, right? Because if you buy it, you'll lose $10 per click. So what the page value is there to do is to give somebody who is trying to understand the monetization pathway through the website a way to value each particular type of engagement. You can set it to be whatever you really want. You can say my page is valuable because I have a certain length of time that people spend on it, or there's a certain amount of traffic, or there's a certain number of people reaching a goal on the site, such as clicking, filling out a form. So that gives you a sense of the page value. It's a statistic that you would need in order to understand if the page was profitable or not for you. Okay, so it really doesn't have anything to do with ranking at all, because ranking is based on what Google believes your value is to the end user, not what you believe the value is to your user, right? So those can be two different things, right? So I think that's how I'd expand on Ghani's particular answer here. The great thing about Google Analytics is that you click on the question mark and it will also show you what the potential answer could be. But it does take practice to actually get a intuitive understanding of each particular idea as well. And I think that is actually a pretty good, that's a good question. All right, let's keep on going. Back to Bella.
Okay, then. I think we have time for like one more question for this. So let's go to the third question. How saturated is job field on digital marketer in 2021, in your opinion? So maybe I want to ask Mr. Jing first. What do you think about this?
I don't know. Okay, so it's an economics question. Okay, so on one side you have this. One side, remember, it goes back to the fundamentals again. Is the internet getting bigger? Is there more information being produced every day? And how quickly is this information accumulating? And if we know anything about the internet, it tends to accumulate information faster each particular day, right? So essentially, you can say today, as a species, we probably produced more information than yesterday as a species, right? All 7 billion people on the earth. So the idea is, okay, is this going to get faster and faster and faster, or slower and slower and slower? I think in particular, this trend is information is just going to be, there's going to be more and more information, right? Now, some part of this information is going to be organized by AI, right? We all know about AI and what it's doing and all the, and Google, of course, and all the platforms do use artificial intelligence and machine learning in their algorithms. But let's not forget, AI so far can't really create reliable stories, right? Most of the storytelling, most of the journeys, most of what you're experiencing when you go through and you want to buy that product on Tokopedia, or you want to buy that particular thing in GoFood, it's a story, right? So it's affecting you a certain way. You're looking at the pictures, you're looking at the reviews, and you're deciding, does that actually sound like something I want to consume? So in that particular regard, I think as long as there's going to be new products and new services that are going to excite people, there will always be a need for more digital marketers. And so digital marketing is also one of those things I find that, Ghani might agree with me on this one, a lot of people are in doing it, but not a lot of people are really good at it, right? So to be good at it, I think you really need to put in the effort, the time, and the dedication. Somebody like Ghani here, right? And then that actually then comes above everybody else. So I think it could be competitive in the entry level, but once you get more to the senior level and once you develop good storytelling capabilities, deep understanding of the algorithms, understanding how things work, connections, which are very valuable too as well, because they can help you get promoted your content. This then is, I don't think there's any limit to that. I see always there's jobs for digital marketers. And there's a big cutoff, right? I think about maybe, I'm guessing it's probably more than 50% of people who start, they don't stay after a year, right? Because they realize how challenging it actually is. So as long as I think you have a passion for storytelling, if you really enjoy using video, animation, copywriting to tell a story that is exciting, there's always going to be somebody who is going to need you to convey that information to a potential audience. So no, I don't think that this is getting too saturated at all. I think the opportunities are going to get bigger and bigger.
Okay, thank you. I tend to agree with you also, sir. Like, I think like every day this job field is something that people are looking for, and as you say, that not a lot of people are really good at it, which is why it's a good opportunity for people to actually learn better to be a digital marketer. So maybe we can go to the Kak Ghani himself, because he's also a digital marketer. Maybe he can also tell his story as a senior digital marketer in Bukit Vista as well. How about you, Kak Ghani?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. Yeah. So, in Bukit Vista, I joined as a beginner as well. In the first time, I joined 6 months after graduate as a photographer. At the time, that's only one skill that I really passionate and really expert on it. So, I'm a photographer, wedding photographer, architecture, and then a kind of photography. But then, as time goes by, I'm thinking that my content, my photo is just small element of digital marketing. So this my content is just apa namanya, it is a small thing. There is the other side, the other element that can boost my content to deliver the information on to the potential audience. So at the first time, I was thinking that oh, okay, I'm a great photographer. I can create a photo, a good photo. But then after that photo is created, and then what? And then what's next? And then what goal? What goal that you want to achieve? So when then I joined Bukit Vista, and then I find the purpose. Okay, after I create the photo, and then and then what goal that I will achieve. So I can deliver to the guest by a good photo. I can deliver to potential partner how to get a good photo for them, and then for example like that. So the first time I am a beginner as well, start a photographer, and then I study about strategically how to deliver those kind of content on information to potential audience. Yeah, I think just that, Abdullah.
Okay, that was a very inspirational story from your side, Kak. Like you start from as a photographer and then you come here so far to be a senior digital marketer. Okay, then. So I think that's all from the question from Slido. So we have several questions also from the lecturer from President. So maybe if the lecturer can open the microphone to ask the question, you're very welcome.
Okay, maybe me first, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Bu, for the time. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jing, and also Pak Ghani for presenting a very nice and valuable insight about SEO. Yeah, actually, this is also my topic in this week's class. Yeah, and I say to my students that let's go to the expert of SEO, and we have a guest lecture on webinar on that. So I invite all the students to come to this very important class, very important webinar. My students might also ask that when we talk about priority in managing our channels or investing in channels, yeah, when we should start prioritizing our SEO comparing to other channels, like what Mr. Jing said, that it is long-term investment, right? Should we start from the SEO first when we have a very limited time and money, or should we go to more instant traffic like SEM, for example, or cooperating with influencers or other YouTubers, something like that, based on the experience in Bukit Vista, for example? I think that's my questions, Mr. Jing and also Mr. Ghani. Thank you.
Okay. Ghani, you want to try that first?
Okay, this very interesting, yeah. So how to prioritize SEO? I would say depends on what product or what service do you offer. Do you offer something tangible, product, or services? For example, if you want to sell shoes, sneaker, Air Jordan, sepatu Air Jordan itu ya, yang lagi hype sekarang ini. Nah, kita semua tahu sepatu Air Jordan itu lagi hype di kalangan anak muda. Okay, and then we start thinking, okay, kalau anak muda itu berarti paling sering dipakai apa sih untuk mencari produk itu? Apakah Google, apakah YouTube, ataukah Facebook, ataukah Instagram? Nah, biasanya paling sering dipakai itu apa? Instagram, kan? So perhaps this kind of method you can use to optimize SEO on Instagram first. So it's really depend on what's your product or service, and then who is your audience? Is it young people? Is it boomers? So it's very depends. Some of product, some of service, it's well established or well performed on TikTok rather than on Google because of the audience itself. So so many audience watch your service through TikTok, and then okay, so you can prioritize to optimize SEO on TikTok rather than on Google. Yeah, so depends, Pak Dedi, depends on the product or service you offer.
Okay.
Yeah, perhaps
thank you,
Mr. Jing, you want to add?
Okay. I think Ghani's answer is really good. how would I answer this? Let me think. Okay. SEO, let's say, compared to SEM. SEM, like Ghani had said just earlier, is it's sort of like every product or service. I give an analogy. It's like lighting a fire. Okay, so you want to start a fire. I know this because my wife is actually a really good fire starter. She comes from a village and she builds fires all the time, and we go and create bonfires. And this is a good analogy. So SEO, I think, is a little bit like this, right? You think about how to start a small fire and then make it into a medium fire, and then add more wood onto it, so it kind of burns a little bit longer, right? Search engine marketing and influencer are a little bit like this. You maybe don't have the big wood and you throw gasoline onto the fire, right? And yes, you'll get a lot of fire right away because the gasoline burns really hot, but it also burns out really quickly. So let's say, for example, you get Kim Kardashian to promote your, let's say you're making a new piece of jewelry or something, okay? So, okay, your jewelry sucks. There's nothing really good about your jewelry. It's just that Kim Kardashian promoted it one time. Are you likely to see sustained growth over time? Maybe not, right? So that part, I think, it's always product or service first. We must think about if the product or service has sustainable value, right? Are we giving sustainable value? So then what do you prioritize? All of them are investments. If you want to get a very good influencers don't work with strangers, right? The way to get to a really powerful influencer, you start with a medium influencer, small influencer. A small influencer gets you the attention of medium, and medium gets you attention of large, right? So you might need to build up that, and that takes years too as well. Search engine marketing also takes a while, and SEO is actually a good practice before search engine marketing because you're practicing what keywords you need to develop. Now, if you don't practice that keyword research and you go into search engine marketing, you're likely to lose a lot of money because you don't know what specifically is your audience searching for. So between SEO and SEM, I think these work together actually. SEO first to do the keyword research, and then once you understand the keyword research, then you can accelerate your progress with search engine marketing. So I think that part is there. It really depends, like Ghani said, on what type of product and how your audience engages with it. So some services are where people are going to look for it on Google search, right? So let's say you get into some legal problems, right? How do I get out of a parking ticket, right? Or what to do if my business partner cheats on me? These things are things that people generally search for, right? They have search intent. If somebody sees this on social media, like a lawyer offering services, or like I'm not in the mood for that right now. You don't have the timing right. So I think search is very powerful for things that are driven by intent. Somebody has intention already to look for something. Other things can be more like impulse purchases, like jewelry, clothing, food. These are things that I need inspiration, right? I don't know what I want for dinner. I don't know what I want to wear. So if I see it on social media and it inspires me, I might just go ahead and go, yep, that's perfect. I'll go buy it, right? But it depends on the consumer as well. Maybe they're smart. They check, right? Is this the best price to buy Air Jordans, right, on Google? So then they go back to Google, and you might actually then want to actually rank again. So I'd say you really, at the very beginning, you have to test it out. You have to talk to your audience. Hey, what do you usually do if you want to buy Air Jordans? Do you buy on Instagram? Do you search for it? Do you go on a platform to look for it? You'll find that a lot of people in America, most people who buy, they'll go to Amazon, right? So they'll just go right to Amazon. So if you do Google SEO, you're not seen, right? Nobody will even find you. So your best bet is to optimize search on Amazon. How do you get search engine optimization within a platform and come out ahead? So I think that's kind of like the best explanation. Really understand your audience, understand their behavior, and understand how your audience connects to the product or service you're trying to sell. And be open-minded in the beginning. You might actually find the best way could be It could be something that is not really even marketing. It could be like, putting, I don't know, like going and talking to somebody at the supermarket and they tell you every day there's a person there who's looking for something here. And if somebody just puts it there, they'll buy it. So sometimes it can be as simple as that. So online, offline, I'd say the job of a marketer is to connect a person to a solution through the product or service. And as long as you're doing that, I think you'll do very, very well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jing, and also Mr. Ghani for that sharing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you also Pak Dedi. So I think I'm going to give it back to Bu Lina since we are in the end of the webinar.